Welcome to Far From Eden and happy Thursday. We are sticking to our Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday schedule. I'm proud so far. I hope I'm not jinxing it. I did release a couple of videos on Tuesday that I recorded on Sunday. I had a really good day on Sunday. If you're new to the channel, I suffer with multiple sclerosis, progressive, and so trying to balance all this is a little tricky. However, Tuesday, I was able to release two videos that I recorded on Sunday. And you know what? I encourage you to watch them, not because, views and likes and clicks, because it's important, especially the one that I released about Clementine. And that's all I'll say. It was released on Tuesday, and it's a young man's story about his daughter that didn't get to be born. Anyways, I released that because it was important to show this side of what men go through and their lack of rights in that scenario. Okay, so that was Tuesday. Today's Thursday, and we're gonna watch one of my favorite channels to watch. It's Man Reacts. Listen, it's a total coincidence that he actually featured part of one of my videos in one of his videos. And it's a coincidence that that's his biggest video so far. But he also, listen, it's not me. He also, on the thumbnail was, oh my gosh, the girl from Daily Wire, the young girl. My brain goes blank when it's time. I know her name. I know y'all are going to tell me. It'll pop in my head in a few minutes. But, the young girl from Daily Wire that they cast as Snow White in their thing. And then another girl all on the thumbnail. And we were just, expressing these views that maybe, you shouldn't take advantage of men and maybe they have a point of view and stuff. So that's a total coincidence. I was totally honored when I saw that I was there. Actually, somebody sent it to me. Anyway, Man Reacts does a really good job of, curating different videos from TikTok and elsewhere to show what the women are saying. And then, just like his channel says, Man Reacts, he gives his take on it. And I love that because I get to see what the women are saying and maybe translate and say, this is what it means in women talk. And then also listen to what he's saying. And sometimes I agree with him. And sometimes I'm like, ooh, he's off base, because not all men understand what the actual deception is that the women are doing, what the manipulation is, if the women believe what they're saying, or if they don't believe what they're saying. And so that's one of my favorite things, is to sort of be a translator. Now, also, somebody commented, this just reminded me, somebody commented and said, I hear weird noises in the background in your videos. Well, I have a little dog. Her name is Lola. She's not a showgirl, but she was just walking around behind me making noise on purpose because I'm not paying attention to her right now. And we have a thing here. All the regulars know that when she distracts me, which is pretty much every video, that's when I remember to ask you to please like the video. I'm not here for likes, clicks, whatever. I am here for the message. That's what I started with. That's what I will stick with. And I will always be here. And I understand if you're new here and you're like, oh, she's a woman, I don't trust her. Absolutely. I don't think you probably shouldn't. You know what I mean? But just, like I said to people a few years ago, just check back in once in a while. I'll still be saying the same things. I'll still be believing the same things. And if you want to know how I got here, there's many videos back where I talk about the different things from my father to, MGTOW men that I've known, and, how I got here and the evolution of it all. So please feel free to vet me, because, I'm as real as I can be as a woman, put it that way. So having said that, without further ado, one of his latest videos, one of Man React's latest videos, which the links will be in the description. I always put the links in the description of the videos that I'm using, because if you don't follow Man Reacts, if you're not subscribed to his channel, oh my gosh, it's totally worth it. So yeah, I highly recommend. Oh, it's entertaining too. Let's face it. Partly it's entertaining to watch these women try. And I think they're actually, now you're going to disagree with me, but I think they're kind of attempting to adapt. But it's hard to adapt when if you don't recognize that you need to change some things and you've been doing some things wrong. So it gets tricky. So you do have a lot of, trad wife chameleons out there with their idea of what trad wife. It's not dress up. Anyway, that's a different video. I could get going on, fake trad wives and what they're about, but we won't do that right now. We're going to talk about these ladies. Now, I haven't seen this video yet, but I can see that it's part on the thumbnail. It's part of, there's part of a video clip, at least from the Whatever podcast, that I also reacted to and made a video about with Rachel Wilson and the conspiracy lady who doesn't want you to drink fluoride and all that. I'm giggling about conspiracy lady because I don't think that anybody could tell me a conspiracy theory that I would be like, oh, that's too far-fetched. Not now, not anymore. Now I'm like, tell me more. So, good gracious. I was in a conversation with one of y'all last night, and he taught me a new conspiracy theory, and it's all I can think about. So, it's fun. Anyway, so that's probably why I liked that video a lot. So we are going to share screen. And there it is. Make sure I'm in the middle here. You gotta do this. I gotta act like a real YouTuber, even though I'm not. It's not the goal. All right. So you can see it's the Whatever podcast. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet, so I'm excited. And I love to watch things fresh with you guys. Okay, I just need to remember how to use my computer. Take a few days off. And I'm like, what? How does my brain work again? All right, let's go. Let's see. Oh, we're back at the beginning. Sorry for the delay. Technology and I do not get along. I'm pretty much, I am not mechanically inclined and I am not technologically inclined. I try, but it's not, it's not my strength. So here.
Men are learning to let go of modern women. End of an era.
Why are we telling young women to take your most fertile years when you should be having babies and spend that entire decade of your 20s chasing an education which the average woman goes $40,000 into debt to get, and she makes an average of $40,000 a year, which is a terrible deal, right? So we tell them to go to all this college, get into debt to get your degree, and then do the career thing like you just said. And then all of a sudden at 30, flip a switch and try to get at least 2.1 babies out of them. That's stupid, and it's never going to happen. So why do we give young women that advice? I mean, I think 95% of y'all don't have any business being in a university at all.
Women should be starting to understand men and relationships at age 16. Not 32 after they've massed huge body counts. Make a man chase and understand you slowly. Don't.
Did he just say 16? I agree with him. I agree. You should, because then you can. My mom got married at 18, okay, in 1972. My mom was married at 18, and I, growing up, always thought that's the way to do it. And when I was in high school, a freshman in high school, my goal, actually, even when I was little, my goal was always to get married at 18. And my mom started having children at 23. And when I was young, I always thought, why did she wait so long? Why did she wait so long? That's weird. I'm not going to wait that long. That was my goal. That was my idea. I don't remember who put it in my head, except that I knew that my mom got married at 18 and started having kids at 23. That was the only information I had. She never said it's good. She never said this, that, or the other. But my brain, as a young girl, thought, excellent, except why'd you wait so long? So I wish I would have asked her. I might have asked her, but my brain did not register the answer. So that's interesting. He said 16, because when I was in high school, that was my goal. I had a high school boyfriend my freshman year. We just kind of our parents dropped us off at the movies or, whatever, or, we would study in the living room or in the dining room because he'd try to help me with my geometry. And I was like, hey, we had a plan. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this. We had a plan. And on my 18th birthday, he was going to come to my door, knock on my door, and propose. That was our plan. And of course, I moved, and he ended up breaking up with me because I had moved. I was devastated. And a few months later, another boy asked me out, and, same kind of like, puppy love type stuff. Anyway, my goal was to get married young, and I was thinking like that. And then school started talking about, everybody's talking about what college are you going to go to? I was in the honors classes, so that was the question. It wasn't, are you going to college? It was, what college are you going to, and what are you going to study, and what are you going to do? And that started pushing out my plan. And the guy that I ended up being with all through high school and through part of college, he was not on board with the getting married at like that young. It was more like, well, he wanted to date all these other people. And then, after college, then get married. And I was like, okay. So anyway, so he said 16 and to start thinking. And that's almost like, do nowadays it's like, oh, you shouldn't think about it in your 20s. You're basically still a kid. Like, what? That's crazy. That's crazy. Listen, we all know biologically women mature faster to where we're going to be, to our full, maturation. And there's a reason for that. It's procreation. It's biology. But biology isn't real anymore. Biology is probably far right propaganda. Anyway, this is why I love watching Man Reacts. I just love this channel so much. Okay, let's go.
Don't go partying and sleeping around. Sadly, women follow the feminist narrative thinking she's the prize. Men don't see it that way. And why should they? Especially now.
The problem is that women want a guy to pay for dates, be tall, be charming, be charismatic, and bring all these things to the table. But they want to be able to say, well, I'm still strong and independent. I can do my thing. Does that make sense?
Why would I commit to you when every woman I've committed to has spat in my face when I tried to give them the world? Oh, you're so different, I'm sure. Just like the last three. Convince me with behavior, not words. I know my worth, and lies and mind games don't work on me now. I don't mess with the high school drama, and I will treat you with equal respect shown to me until you've made yourself dear to me.
Hello?
Oh,
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Oh, what are you doing?
What am I doing? Are you talking to me?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm just charging my car. Yeah, but they don't have a charger, you see.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's my charger, though.
Yes, all right, don't get big-headed about it. My friend Lucy, come to see her,
Okay.
and she hasn't got a charger, because she hasn't got an electric car. There's no
But
one
why
on
is that
site.
my problem, though?
What?
But why is that my problem?
Well, no, it's not a problem. It's an advantage for me, isn't it? Because
Yeah, it's an advantage for you, but it's not an advantage for me. You're using my charger. No, but you're using my... No, but you're using my electrical facility.
Yes, I am, and I'm very grateful. It's nice that you've got it there. I can, I know in the future.
The level of entitlement was bad.
Oh my God. I can't believe. I have no words for that. That is just, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? That you're just going, oh, it's nice. Yeah. I haven't got a charger. Well, then I guess you need to get one. What on earth? I'm telling you, these women have had simp dads. I think a lot of dads have turned these women into little princesses, and they're nightmares. Good Lord, how do you get like that? Anyway, okay, I got to get over my shock. Whew. All right.
Baffling in this one.
Here's the train.
Don't you think? Men are learning, so they are avoiding the pitfalls made by other men, but women aren't learning and still making the mistakes of all the other lonely women, still confused and wondering why no man wants them.
I am absolutely convinced that men don't actually want relationships.
As ladies get older, it's harder to find a man to get into a relationship with. There's a couple of reasons for this, but one of which is men gain experience. They have been in a relationship, have been scorned, screwed over, and then they decide, I want my own peace. The rest of the video proves this.
It's like men want their lives as is. They want to go about their day exactly as it is,
Their own peace.
do whatever they would normally do,
God forbid they want to do the stuff that they would like to do with their own lives. Oh my God, what these men like.
and just want somebody there when it's convenient for them.
And that's the comment that makes me think you're bitter and single. It's not the fact that they want someone that's convenient for them. It's the fact that they want someone to add to their lives and not take away things that they enjoy, which is what they have been previously used to. Do we get it yet?
Or, for the things they want to do. Like,
And that is why men are staying single, so they can do whatever it is that they want to do without any bad judgment from anyone.
Because women come in and hijack their lives instead of adding to their lives and cooperating. They come in and want to hijack it all and not respect, who that man is, how he likes to spend his time, how he spends his money, what his goals are for life. These women come in and absolutely hijack everything. His money, his time, his job, his everything. Everything's hijacked and everything's criticized. And there's very little cooperation. Because why should she, right? So, yeah, exactly. And how can you blame them? That's the problem. It's like, why be mad at that? Don't they have a choice? Shouldn't they have a choice?
The fact that it's a concern to you that they're doing this is a massive red flag. So men aren't going to look at you and go, yeah, she wants to take over my life. That's wifey material.
convince me I'm wrong.
Okay.
No convincing needed, because you're absolutely right. A fellow in his 30s plus does not want a relationship in the same way like he did when he was in his 20s. Why? Because he's been in a relationship and he's learned. He likes his own life. He likes to be able to do what he wants. And if a woman wants to tie one of these guys down, she's got to go above and beyond to tie the guy down. It's not as easy anymore. You can't get pissed off with men being screwed over, getting smarter, wanting to take a bit more care of themselves, because you can't find a man as easy as you used to. Welcome to life.
Men don't want to continue to invest in a partner who changes the nature of their relationship on a whim, withholds affection, and segs because she feels differently after he commits, and provides a home, stability, and security.
I've heard several men tell me that after the honeymoon, things changed. And I think this might be a common thing. I don't have statistics to back that up. I just have logic, reason, and some anecdotal evidence. And I see women. And I think a lot of times what women will do, and it's not working anymore, well, it's working with some men, unfortunately. And that's part of why I'm here, to wake people up, to wake up the men who are trying to figure this out so we can rescue them before, they get taken, whether their heart gets shattered or their bank accounts get shattered or what have you. Women will do whatever it takes to get the man down the aisle, to get that contract. So they're going to be, that's the chameleon. They're going to turn into whatever it is they think you want. They're going to say the right things. They're going to, cooperate a bit more. They're going to be very affectionate. It's kind of like love bombing to get you down the aisle. And then, well, don't need to do that anymore. And the men are like, after they're married, they're like, what? she's not quite so nice as she used to be. Sad.
He doesn't want you running his life, especially if you are going to continue to be a flip-of-the-coin psycho who can use the law to take from him whatever you want.
Women show their love through sexual loyalty. They show their love through sexual exclusivity. A man shows his love other ways. So when you see a man who's crying over the girl he lost because he cheated, and they're like, why is he crying? He loves me. He doesn't love me. Yes, he does. He loves you. He came back to you. Who cares about that bitch? He doesn't care about her. Why do you care about her?
Women say they want relationships, but from the way they speak, it sounds more like sponsorships, where men make their lives easier while they make men's lives harder. What a deal.
We've only been together for a year and a half.
Oh, all right. Come on. You're fine.
But I'm also 36.
Yuck. No, I'm kidding. Not going to happen in a year. Even after a year goes by.
Shut up, you guys!
Still only 2.5 years, even if he waits another year. That's not a lot of time. Do you want kids?
Yeah!
Oh, geez. I think those eggs are scrambled.
Hey!
The only girls that I really see complain about this or talk about this are the ones who can tell are magnets for toxic guys. It's not the girls that like normal guys that just want to enjoy life. They always are the type that seems to be attracted to guys that have way too many options for them to care about their feelings and would rather have his peace, and when he's interested to come deal with you because you leave yourself widely available. It's the same with guys. A lot of guys nowadays are upset that women treat them like crap, but they keep going after the same woman that has 10 to 15 guys all wanting her attention. She has no reason to be loyal or care about your feelings because she has her own feelings to care about, and those take priority. A lot of times these people aren't even super heartless. They just are focused on their own personal enjoyment of life.
Things women find unattractive in modern day men. Number 1, men who are in touch with their feminine side. Examples of the modern day men being in touch with their feminine side. Commonly, guys now are almost overly emotional. Number 2 is pick-me boys. Now, a pick-me boy is a guy who's fishing for compliments. Oh my God, I'm just so ugly. It's because they want you to call them cute or attractive. Or a pick-me boy is a guy saying, no one's ever gonna wanna date me. If you keep talking like that, no.
What guys is she talking about? I mean, I am not out there. I have not been out. I have not dated. I am not on the dating scene. I don't party. I never have. Even when I was in college, I'm a total nerd. Anyway, are guys really doing that? Are there young men? She's clearly Gen Z or maybe kind of an old alpha generation. Are guys really doing that? And if so, right now, I'm just going to go ahead and be bold and say, well, those were raised by mothers, not fathers, because that's not good emotional regulation. Wow. Or she's completely full of crap. I don't know. That's interesting. Let's see this chick say things a little more. Wow.
No one really is going to want to date you. Number 3 is guys who do not work out or stay in shape. Girl wants a boy who can pick him up. If my boy's arms were smaller than mine, 1, that would make me feel self-conscious. And 2, it just would not be attractive. Now, although no one ever says it, physical attributes in a man are extremely attractive. People always think that that is a bad thing, but just because you're attracted to how someone looks does not mean it's a bad thing. Obviously, personality is a huge thing as well, but physical attributes also just increases attractiveness so much.
Men no longer want to start a relationship with someone who is not.
I understand. Here's the thing. Like, I think guys are like, a relationship with her and I'd have to hear her talk, have a conversation with her. I mean, she might be sweet, but it's not going to be, I don't think we're going to have a lot of mental stimulation with that one. But you know what? There are guys that that's not their thing. And if she could just get cooperative and stop critiquing everything, you know, it sounds like too, that's the thing too. These young women, 20-year-old thinking she should date another 20-year-old, like a 20-year-old man. That makes no sense. Biologically, it doesn't make sense. The fertile woman should seek out, though no, she shouldn't seek out, but in a perfect world, but a young woman who is fertile should be, ideally, looking for a man who can fill his role. She should fill her role, right? To add to his life and cooperate and have children. And he can provide and protect. Now, I am not a trad wife person because these trad wives are just like soft life people. No, I'm talking about you homeschool them. You are with them. You keep that house clean. You don't have a cleaning lady. You don't have a cook. You know what I mean? You have a garden. You are working in the house. You take care of your man. You serve him. You are affectionate to him, right? You add to his life. When he comes home from work, the house is peaceful. It's clean. It's peaceful. The kids are mannerly. And I know you guys are like, you live in fairy tale land, Aaron. Kinda. Because I think that to understand things, we should know what is the ideal. What are we supposed to be doing? How does it work the best? Based on facts, based on our own biology and how we're made and how our bodies work. And what makes sense naturally. We're in an industrialized world, and that only just happened, in the mid-1800s, not that long ago in the grand scheme of things. So as nature goes and as mammals go, the male has his role, the female has her role. And they're not the same role. Anyway. Oh, I totally forgot where I started with that, but I got fired up. So let's continue. Oh, his videos are so good.
Work their issues out anymore. Listen to what you said. You literally let it be known that you want control over another human being. This comes from having been treated horribly in the past, either by an ex-husband or boyfriend. That much respect can sympathize with, but
okay, this is why I watch Man Reacts. Mr. Man Reacts. That might be right. But the thing is you will have young girls starting out that way, like in their first relationship. And it's because they've learned to behave that way as children and young women. Nobody has put them in their place. They don't have a father who's put them in their place. Their mother has just complimented their sassiness and their leadership skills and all of this. And they've watched their mother treat relationships like this. It's more that I don't know that it's always going to be an ex-boyfriend or an ex-husband that they're doing this, because I think it's more of a father figure or idea of a father figure that they don't trust. And that they think should basically tell them they're a princess and give them what they want and, make their life comfortable, where a good father would raise his daughter in such a way that she would build character. He wouldn't remove all things that are uncomfortable. He wouldn't tell her that everything's going to be fine and it's all, he should explain. This is how you are. You need to have your own, female stoicism and to teach her emotional regulation. And women aren't getting that. So I would slightly disagree on how women got this way. But certainly the older ones, But see, in that way too, it's like blaming the men. And it really didn't start with them. It started with them. So, okay.
The issue doesn't just go away. In fact, most young women have become so numb and untrusting from failure after failure in relationships that way too much is expected from the next guy. Since when are there rules to getting to know someone for who they are and trusting them and eventually falling in love without changing a thing, except your status as far as being single or married or in a relationship?
So you expect the girl to be loyal to you before on the first date?
That is probably the most attractive thing the girl could do.
But it's not
Is
reciprocated.
saying, I'm not seeing other guys right now.
As a guy, that's the most attractive thing you can do. So if you want to be more attractive to the guy, then that's what you do. As a guy, if I want to be more attractive to you, I have to get my money up. I have to go to the gym. I have to build connections. I have to be more charismatic. As a girl, you don't have to do all that shit.
Who made the rules? I can tell you that when you're not so troubled and obsessed with finding your guy, he will come. Stop putting up boundaries and walls and look at life for what it really is. Calm that storm inside of you down and think for a second about that peace. Nothing matters except your peace. peace within yourself, and peace with your demons. Men want a clear and honest relationship with a woman who has peace and won't bring drama or trouble to them. We are sick of that. We've had that. It's time to try something new. Men want women that they can trust and know that they'll be there. It's not about convenience, but mutual respect and assistance. Men will go above and beyond to help women, but we need to know that the women will do the same. A guy I know had to be out of town on a work assignment for several months. When he came back home, he found out his wife was pregnant, and he was beyond elated. That all changed when the baby was delivered, and it was a different skin color than his ethnicity. That's why many men don't trust women anymore. I hear and see plenty of women bragging about the freedom they enjoy when they've kicked their man to the curb, only to cry about there being no good men months later. When everyone else is the problem is likely you. I would say that guys can become relationship phobic after a bad experience and can be cruel to women, and the same happens in reverse. So I do advocate a timeout after a bad breakup to get yourself centered again and ready to give of yourself without so much baggage. Or just embrace the single life if you're genuinely done. Don't complain online about the others. It's true that women shift more to the periphery once a relationship is becoming more steady. We've had the turmoil and the drama. Let's go back to normal. Women who crave that and want to be in the center all the time, getting plenty of validation and attention, can't cope with that. But life doesn't exist of sunsets and roses. Realizing that is a sign of maturity. However, modern women never grow up. Why is it that when a man gets tied...
And I think this, I know it's not about me, but I'm a woman, and so it's so easy to personalize things. I have a video that says, I think the thumbnail says, he said, "This tempered me," and I was referring to my multiple sclerosis. And I never thought it would be such a part of this topic, but apparently it really affects, obviously, I mean, diagnosed at 22, progressive MS, finding out, oh, you had it your whole childhood. It's just that nobody was really paying attention. Anyway, he said, you know, you have to learn that life isn't all sunshine and roses. I learned that as a kid, and I learned it even more, like another level of it, you know, when I got real sick at 22. And what my life looked like going forward was not what I thought it would be. And it wasn't going to be fair. It wasn't going to be in my control. It wasn't going to be whatever. And, you know, you got to carry on. You know, I realize there's a lot of people that take that and go, poor me. But like I said, I think I was taught younger, life isn't fair. It isn't all sunshine and roses. And then this happened. And that's why when I was diagnosed, I didn't say why me or any of that. I was upset. I was sad. I was thinking of ending things. But I knew that in my mind, I didn't have a right to do that, because this life is a blessing from God. No matter how difficult it is here, if I'm still here, there's a reason. And so I kept putting one foot in front of the other, and I kept trying. And anyway, it tempered me. And like he's saying, like, you have to learn, like, when are these women learning this at 35, 40? Too late. It's too late. You can't learn as an adult that life isn't all sunshine and roses. That's a big problem, Mr. Man Reacts. I'm saying this with all due respect, that women need to be learning that as kids. Guys have to learn it because they know they have to achieve to be valuable. Women just have to preserve to be valuable in a way. So no one's explaining to women that life isn't all sunshine and roses and life isn't fair and you don't get everything you want. And that needs to happen in childhood. When I say in childhood, I mean young. I mean toddler. At that level, that concept. I'm not saying that you have to tell the toddlers like about, you know, horrible things in the world. It's obviously age appropriate, but the concept about it's not all about you. Don't be selfish. You don't always get your way, etc., etc. That needs to happen young for girls. It does. And the mom, should be teaching it to the young girls. It's not happening. Because now the young girls are just, like an accessory, like a doll. I'm going to dress her up and she's going to be a mini me, or she's going to do all the things that I didn't do, or what have you. The relationship is messed up. So I think that's kind of where we get off course there. And he says, go back to normal. What's that? When did we have that? What normal? Because I am such an extremist that I would say dating is not normal, because all it does is teach you to break up. I think go back a couple hundred years where families knew each other, and there were a few men who wanted to court you, dad helped vet them, and you didn't have relationships beforehand. There was no breaking up. That's the best way. I can't see why that's not better than dating. Dating, even puppy love in high school. I shouldn't have even done that. You know what I mean? None of that. Ideally, all that puppy love, your first kiss, all that, ideally, it would be one man. Only one man that I share that all with. And that when I think of, love and romance and this and that, should only be one man that I think of. But that is so far from what our modern minds have been trained to think is normal. But I think that this normal he's referring to was already not so good. But compared to this, it seems like, oh God, that's way better. But we really need to get way back to rectify this. Like when it was actually working, when it was actually good.
Down to the wifey, she wants to take his total freedom from him. Is it she thinks he's going to cheat on her in secret, and she finds ways to disrupt his way of life / freedom to the point she wrecks his life? Here's a clue. Why don't she get interested in her hubby's hobbies? Just maybe she'll be happier with her hubby, and they'll be closer as man and wife. What men don't want is to pay someone not to be with them anymore. I know so many men who are paying their ex-wife because she decided she wasn't happy anymore and wanted her freedom. Alimony and child support payments can financially ruin your life. Stay single, gentlemen. These women wanted to be strong and independent. Them have that with their own money. It makes me so sad that there are enough selfish women that so many men end up deciding that there is absolutely nothing to gain from a relationship with a woman. As a woman, I've seen the opposite problem with the women around me, with women giving too much care and laboring too much for a husband that abuses and only takes, and even going through that myself, and building up a broken man to the point he had a job and a place to live after having nothing, only for him to abuse me and still say I wasn't giving enough. If only there was a way for givers to end up in relationships with other givers. Men, there are good women out there, but I am so sorry it's so hard to find them, and that you've been hurt enough to give up entirely. I wanted to give up too, and for a time I was jaded and didn't believe there was any point in trying anymore. But we're all people in the end, no matter the gender, and I had to believe there are good men out there, just as I see proof of good women around me. And for now, I have some fight left in me. I hope you'll all be happy and have good lives, whether you decide to stay single or a good person wanders into your life. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Support us and help us spread support for men around the world.
Did we just learn something about Man Reacts? Did I just learn something about him? I don't want to say. I think maybe I'm not thinking straight, but I feel like he was talking about finding a man for himself. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. That's not part of my belief system. He still puts out great videos. He still speaks truth. So I just didn't expect that. The insight is... his insight is very valuable. And wow. Okay, well, yeah. You know what? Okay. Don't freak out because I'm going to qualify this. There are good women out there. However, as Joker from Better Bachelor says, It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And do you know how much you're going to get cut looking for that? A lot. So that's the conundrum, right? Because it's one thing to sit here and be like, well, you shouldn't date, you shouldn't get married. It's too dangerous. You know, if you're absolutely desperate, you know, move to the Amazon region or some small village in Eastern Europe, you know, or Thailand, if you don't mind if it's, you know, a different skin color, although I imagine Amazon might be different. But anyway, and I say that a lot because I want you guys to be safe and protected. But I also talk to several of you via email and a couple friends I have that I talk on the phone with. And it's just that a lonely man is very sad. And it's frustrating. They seem frustrated that they are alone. They don't want to be alone. But what's the other option, right? And so for me, I'm like, okay, how the heck do they safely vet these women? For example, I was talking to a man yesterday, and he said, well, how would I ever, you know, date again? I don't have anything. I have no money, blah, blah, blah. I said, it's great. It's great that you have no money because there's nothing to take. It weeds out a lot of women. It weeds out the gold diggers. So, you know, that's actually better. And there's going to be people that are like, yeah, but is any woman going to want to date him? Yeah, there will be. It's going to be fewer, but that's the automatic vetting process when you don't have money to contribute, right? It may start out as a genuine friendship. It's more likely there will be something real there. But again, it's going to be harder to attract them, but you don't want to attract, you know, the bad ones. And that's what money will do. You will never know if you have a lot of money, you know, to offer that. Why is she here? So I basically was like, well, you know, stay away from single moms because you don't know. I'm not saying all single moms are bad. I am not making that statement. It very well, you could, and you could back it up with some things, but I'm not making that statement. What I'm saying is a single mother, a person with offspring, has a reason to want resources from somewhere and want, you know, you as a stepdad, whatever. You can't, because you can't trust it. So it's like if it's a single woman and she has no children and doesn't bother her that you don't have a lot, you're already partway there vetting her. And so I feel like such a hypocrite because I'm telling men, don't date, don't marry, don't date, don't marry until conditions improve. Look at this MGTOW thing like it's a strike, right? And on the other hand, when I talk to men who are lonely or would really benefit getting a stepmother for their children, I find myself advising them to find a woman and how to vet her because their hearts are just sinking without it. You know, God made us to need each other. God made men to love women. I don't mean that like that's your obligation. I mean, that's your curse in a way. I think used to be a blessing, but when it turns into what it's turned into and how you've been taken advantage of, it's a curse. And that when you decide, okay, well, I'm done and I'm alone and I'm single, it's not the easiest thing in the world. It's not like, I'm so happy. Yes, you have your peace and you can compare it to when you didn't have your peace. But there's just so many men that don't want to be alone. And they want feminine femininity around them. That's just nowhere to be found. It's just these, y'all are starved, and it's okay to have that need. You were created to have that need, just like women were created to need you guys. We are created physically and mentally to need you. We're weaker physically, right? And we would be having babies all the time. We're not going to go out there hunting and doing all those things when we're 7 months pregnant. Knock it off, women. What are you talking about? Like, we need each other. And all this modernity has come in and tried to convince us that that's not true, or that that's a weakness, or that's wrong or bad. And that's a perversion of our natures, both men's natures and women's natures. And it's leaving people, frankly, miserable. So I want to continue to watch these videos and just kind of, I don't know, observe humans in their natural habitat and hope and pray that we get back to not normal, but what's right. Because everybody will be better off when we stop fighting what our nature is, what men's nature is, what human nature is. And we stop relying on things like, the government, careers, things like that. It's about family. It really is. And if you don't think it's about family, it's because the brainwashing has worked. It's just true. And I was guilty of that, is why I don't have a family. The MS kind of came in too, but if I had known how important family is, I would have pursued that. And I would have allowed myself to be open to a man who chose me and wanted a family with me. And he would have figured it out, because that's what men do. He would have figured it out. We'd have had an old Mrs. Doubtfire nanny or whatever. You know what I mean? He'd have figured it out. That you know what it is? Oh my gosh, you guys, I just had a breakthrough right now talking to you guys. I already didn't trust my husband. The man I had never met yet, the man I didn't know yet, I already didn't trust him. And I should have trusted the husband I'd never met. I should have known he's out there, not this manifesting stuff, just that there is a husband out there that will be my husband, and I already trust him to figure all this out. But I didn't. I went my own way, and that was wrong. And it's funny at 46 to be like figuring this stuff out, like, oh wow. But I'd rather know it. Whatever anguish of spirit it may cause, I am willing to know the whole truth. And I'm going to forget who the heck said that. But it was one of the, founding fathers. Yeah. Whatever anguish of spirit it may cause, I'm willing to know the whole truth. And it causes some anguish of spirit, right? But it's also liberating. And I'd rather know. I'd rather know. I think back to the movie The Matrix, where we get this red pill stuff, blue pill. Man, that movie was great. 1999 it came out. Remember the guy who was the traitor, and he wanted to, be plugged back in and never know anything because he wanted to eat the steak and think it was steak. He wanted to know that it was, just a computer telling him that that's what it is, whatever. He wanted to just be back to ignorance is bliss. And, when you wake up to a lot of this stuff, government, everything, because I don't think you can wake up to one piece of it and not see the rest, but people do. I think when you wake up to it, you start to be like, yeah, it was a simpler time back when I thought I knew stuff, back when I thought the media was telling the truth and government was real and not a bunch of puppets. putting on a show, you know. But I could never let myself get plugged back in to the Matrix. I'm just going to be in the Matrix like when Neo would and Morpheus would go back in, but they knew this is a computer, simulation, and we are actually somewhere else plugged in. But all the other people walking around in the simulation had no idea. And don't you feel like that a lot of times? Don't you feel like that? And I have this other thing I want to share with you guys. This is a joke. So nobody get all mad and tell me I'm a misogynist, whatever. But sometimes I think of the women as agents when they're like, anyone can be an agent. And that's the case. And that's why you guys can't trust women, because you don't know. Is this one that's going to, steal kids from me, cheat on me, and then a baby's going to come out a different color? Like, you don't know. She has way too many options and way too much availability to do that, and way too much encouragement from everything around her. So it's just, I don't know, we got to have a reset of some description, and not Hillary Clinton with a big red button. That was good God. Why do I remember that? And I still can't remember that girl. Because I want to say it's Blair somebody. You know, it's going to drive me crazy. I will look it up right after the stream ends. Oh my God. I know the people from Daily Wire. What the heck? This is what happens though. I get nervous to make these videos talking to you. Like, I have stage fright, and then stress and MS, it combines, and then names just fall out of my head. And people will say, well, why don't you write it down? Well, I don't know which ones I'm going to forget. Why would I write down something that I totally know? So thank you for putting up with me and putting up with my brain that does this. It's so, I don't mean it to be rude. I have respect for her. It's not like I'm dismissive. It's just, yeah, it's gone. It's gone. Anyway, I love you guys. And I appreciate you. And you guys being here at 9 o'clock, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hanging out in the chat means a lot. And it helps motivate me. It helps me push through and, get myself together and make these videos. This is a symbiotic relationship. And I appreciate you guys very much. Please find something that feeds your soul today, that connects you to your creator and reminds you are made in his image. You are. That's why you know right and wrong. Deep down, you know it. You've always known it. How? Because his laws are written on your heart. So, take care of yourselves, okay, you guys? And I'm going to see you guys on the next one. All right, bye.